Okay, I think we up, baby. I think we up. I think we up. Let's go. All right, getting the stream going, getting the stream rolling. Getting everything set. You know I gotta get my vibes going, baby. You know I gotta get my vibes going. Rock with your boy. Come on. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Saw your Insta story and it drove me crazy. I was upstanding, treat you like a lady. Treat you like a hoe, try to play me. Not even going front, that pussy felt amazing. You wanna go again, that pussy started craving. You say don't do it like this or I'ma have your baby. You say choke me by the neck like you tryna break it.
We back, we out, we back, we out, we back, we out, we back, we out, we back, we out.
With her best friend, it was awkward. One stayed and the other one became a stalker.
Yeah.
Fuck me, baby, I can make you prosper. Wrote a movie, one day I'ma win an Oscar.
Come on.
Hands, she don't use
Get my
like
funk
a
flex on.
her boyfriend, tryna stop her. That's a blogger. One day,
Hey. What is going on, everybody? What's going on out there? What is going on, everybody? Listen, welcome to the Talkin Bout Podcast. I'm your host, TW. I know you got so many choices for your entertainment. So whoever you are and wherever you may be, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day here with me. Real quick, before we get started, shout out to the boy Thomas Legend for letting us use his song Catchin Vibes for a little intro right there for the pod. And if you like this t-shirt that I'm wearing, all right, this is a little something to support the wrestling club. If you guys were paying attention last year, wrestling club went viral. It's a cool little thing out of New York City. They started a club after school where the kids come in and they watch wrestling matches. They talk about wrestling. They talk about, you know, putting together promos and writing out a wrestling show and all this cool stuff, which wrestling, whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, creating something where kids can come together and have community and do something fun and productive. You know, you always got to support something like that. So I am always going to give love to anybody who's doing something like that. So shout out to the wrestling club. If you guys like this shirt, I put the link in the description of this video, and you guys can go ahead and grab one of these cool shirts and support an awesome, great cause. All right. So, look, we got a bunch of stuff we're going to get to today. We're going to talk about Roman Reigns and how much he wrestles. We're going to talk about Zach LaVine possibly being traded. I know where I would like him to go. And we're going to talk about Josh Allen. He stinks now. Yes, Josh Allen stinks now. I, can't say I called it. Well, I did call it, and then I didn't call it because it was true, and then it wasn't true. And now apparently he stinks again. So we're going to talk about all of that. But first, we're going to talk about Will Smith. Oh, boy. Oh, Will. Poor Will. Is anybody having a worse few months than Will? Well, some people are having worse few months than Will Smith. But as far as like first world problems and, you know, celebrities who, you know, were up at a point, is anybody doing worse right now than Will Smith just from like, in terms of the stuff that's like circulating about your name? Like, is anybody getting that worse than Will Smith right now? I mean, this is terrible. First, Will had to deal with Jada and her book tour, okay? Jada was out here trying to promote her book, and in the process of promoting her book, Jada was just slandering Will in every way possible. Now, let's look, you know, Jada has a right to, you know, write and talk about her own life, right? Because the stuff with Will, obviously that stuff involves her as well. But it really seemed like she was on a slander tour. Now, it's not her fault if she goes and does a 2-hour interview and somebody picks out the part where she's saying something about her husband and decides to circulate that. But it is her fault if she puts all that stuff in her book. You gotta wear it, right? Like, I mean, she did that, right? Nobody made her put all that stuff in the book. And it wasn't just, you know, mentioning stuff about her husband, she really went seemingly above and beyond to let everybody know that they're not, really together, that they haven't been together. She really put Will on an island in regard to the whole Chris Rock Oscars slap incident. I think she said something like, we weren't together at that point. That really surprised me that he would do that. I think she said, I was surprised when he called me his wife. And that, ma'am, that was foul. That was very, very foul. Because, again, this man obviously was trying to go above and beyond to defend you, to defend your honor as his wife. And even if y'all was not cool like that behind the scenes, the least you could have done is held your man down in public because he made himself look bad, got banned for the Oscars doing something for you. And it doesn't matter if you say that, hey, we wasn't cool like that behind the scenes. Like, bruh, he reacted to somebody saying something about you. There's not enough mental gymnastics in the world to try and convince yourself that that was not in some way a reaction to somebody doing something to his wife. That was not in some way him trying to defend someone who he loved. Chris Rock made the joke. Will Smith got upset, came out, decided he wanted to defend his wife, and it was on, okay? That's the way it went down. Now, you got to sell your books. I get that, whatever. But we're not here to go over that whole, thing again. Okay, because Will already dealt with all of that. Okay, Will already dealt with all of that. And now, things have gone, what I would say, from bad to worse. So, what's been circulating on Twitter the past few days, okay? There was a show, Tasha K. I've never heard of Tasha K before, but apparently she's a well-known gossip monger. I don't know. But she had someone on her show who calls himself Brother Bilal. And he claims that he walked in on Duane Martin doing something nasty with Will Smith. Now, I'm going to attempt to play some audio here. Hopefully it picks up here, and hopefully you guys can hear it. But if not, I'm going to talk about it afterwards. So here's what Brother Bilal had to say about Will Smith. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is so foul. She said a baby leg. Oh. Oh. Yo. Woo. Bruh, that is that's crazy. Hopefully all that audio came through on both sides. But I won't know until I play this back because I've been having, issues trying to, play things on audio wise. But in case that didn't come through, what Brother Bilal had to say is that Jada was basically obsessed with Tupac because Tupac had what he referred to as a baby leg, and Will Smith had a pinky. Y'all know they talking about male sex parts, okay? And so he's, saying Will got small business, and then he goes so far as to say that he walked in on Will Smith and Duane Martin, and he said there was a murder going on. Oh my God. That is some graphic description right there. That is some very graphic description going on. And I mean, look, let me start with this. If Will Smith is gay, that's nobody's business, right? That's nobody's business, but I mean, that's between him and his wife, you know, and whoever else he wants to have sex with. Like, that's his business. Like, you don't gotta be publicly outing people for being gay. Like, it's 2023. You know, nobody's gonna burn somebody at the stake for being gay. Like, it is what it is. But the reality is, even if that's true, it's obviously not something that Will Smith wanted out there, right? Like, Will Smith has lived a very public life for a very long time, and if he wanted people to know that that side of his personal life, he would have put it out there. And so, I mean, it's just foul, right? It's foul. Like, why would you? And if it's not true, right? Which, by the way, that's the next side of this, because Jada, she insists that this is all completely untrue. And she said that they're gonna sue him. And by the way, Jada was seen by TMZ walking out of some building, getting into a car, and they asked her about it. And she's on her phone. She said, "We suing." We? What you mean we? Now it's we? Now it's we? Because when Will Smith embarrassed himself going on stage at the Oscars, smacking somebody and saying, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," you couldn't believe that he even called you his wife. But now that there's a public lawsuit going on, it's we? That's awkward. That's weird. And I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Now, it's not for me to get, right? Because it's not my relationship, not my wife. Like, you know, it's really not my business. But the fact is, these are public people living a public life. And so the stuff they do is going to be up for the public conversation. You know? Like, it's crazy, man. Look, you know, Will Smith is one person that a lot of people would like to trade lives with. Not right now. Not right now. Because between the rumors and the actual wife that he does have to deal with, brother, I don't envy you at all. Okay? Listen, if you like what we're doing here, please feel free to hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button so you subscribe to the channel so you get pods like this every time. And hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time we drop some brand new fire content on this page. Okay. Wakanda Forever was trending this week, and here's why. This week marked the 1-year anniversary of the release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It was a much anticipated sequel to the 2018, I believe it was, release Black Panther. Listen, when Black Panther came out, man, the original Black Panther came out, that was a moment. That was an amazing moment. People were so excited for this movie. People were showing up to the movie in full costume. They were dressed like Marvel characters. They were dressed like African princes and princesses and kings and queens. And there was just all this amazing excitement and energy. And then the movie was good. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Chadwick Boseman completely embodied what we thought that character T'Challa should be. And so when he tragically passed away in 2020, or it's 2020 or 2021, when he passed away, there was a lot of debate, right? There was the movie was a huge success at the box office, and obviously Disney was going to make a sequel to Black Panther. It was such a huge success. People loved it. But once the, main character died, there was just a lot of conversation. Should you recast T'Challa, or should you find some way to make the movie without him? So they decided to make the movie, without him, and they decided to write the death of T'Challa into the movie, and, we got the movie we got. Now listen, enough time has passed. Enough time has passed, and we can talk about it now. And I think I feel, comfortable saying the movie was a disappointment. All right, the movie was disappointment. You know, it just wasn't. It wasn't what. I don't think it was what anybody wanted. I don't think it was what anybody wanted. But like, here's the thing. I understand why the movie had to be that. The movie was still told a great story. And what they had to do was they had to basically reset the origin story of the Black Panther, right? Because now Shuri became the Black Panther, and they couldn't just have her pick up the unit. I mean, they could have, but to truly do justice to the story, right? A superhero movie is supposed to it's supposed to tell you the motivations of a character. It's supposed to tell you why this person does what they do. And so in order to do that properly, they had to give you a backstory. And even though we had already met Shuri in the previous Black Panther movie, we didn't have her backstory for why she would be the Black Panther now. So in this movie, they had to create a backstory for why Shuri is the Black Panther, and in doing so, we had to see so much trauma. We had to see this character witness her brother die, and she's tried so hard to stop the death, and it just, it really hurt her, right? And if anybody knows, people that are very successful, when they fail at something, they take it hard. They take it hard. So Shuri was this, this prodigy, this genius, and not only did she fail at something, she failed at saving her brother's life. And so she took it, obviously, super, super hard. And not only was she dealing with that, but then, spoiler alert, her mom dies. So her mom is murdered, and she becomes filled with rage, right? I'm not going to go through the whole movie, obviously. It's been a long time. You guys probably all seen it. But I understand why they told the story the way they did, right? So again, by the time they finished telling this story, it wasn't just her taking over for her brother. She was her own character with her own drive and her own motivations. So I understand why they told the story the way they did, and they still ended up with a quality movie. But here's the problem. The problem is that superhero movies aren't supposed to be all that. They don't have to be all that. And I think it only should be an exception when a superhero movie has to get that deep into the drama and the hurt. And that was a lot, man. That was a lot. Like, even just from the start of the movie, you knew you were seeing this movie that was created in honor of Chadwick Boseman. And the opening of the movie, they get right to the death and the funeral and all of that. And it's all just it was all very heavy. It was all very, very heavy. And a superhero movie's not supposed to be all that. Superhero movie's supposed to be, some music, some cool costumes, some superpowers, beat up some bad guys, tell some bad jokes, and we go home. That's what a superhero movie is supposed to be, but there was no way they could have done that with this movie. No way. I mean, they could have. The only way they could have done that is if they just recast T'Challa. If they just recast T'Challa and then had, someone else play it, and they just kept going on as if it didn't happen. But they did what I thought was kind of the right thing. I mean, you could debate it at this point, but they did what they did, and they made a movie, the movie that they had to make, but it wasn't the movie anybody wanted. Okay, let's just be honest about that. It wasn't the movie anybody wanted. And so, while they had the sequel that came back on a lower note than the original, I think they should make one more. They should make at least one more Black Panther movie to redeem the franchise. And they should follow the simple formula, okay? Give me bad guys, Give me ass-kicking superheroes. Give me some cool music and, cool fight scenes, cool special effects. Tell some bad jokes, and let's go home and let's, tease the next string of Marvel movies. They got to do that. They got to get back to what makes the Marvel movies great and blend the Black Panther franchise back into the fabric of the Marvel universe, because you can't leave the last time we saw the Black Panther on this, somber note. Like, this is supposed to be a superhero franchise, and it's gotta leave us with a feeling of hope, right? Because that's what superhero movies are supposed to do. It's supposed to, show you that even though you gotta fight through sometimes things that seem terribly bad, if you possess these great, true, clean hero qualities, you can come out well on the other end. And so I think Black Panther, you owe us one more. You owe us one more. All right. So one more time, if you like what we're doing, please feel free, hit that like button. Okay. So everybody knows you like this video. Hit the subscribe button so you subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop some brand new fire content on this page. Speaking of dropping new content, Andre 3000 announced that he was going to be dropping a new album this week. Everybody's excited. People are excited. Everybody loves that boy 3000. Everybody loves that boy 3000. But he said he was going to be putting out an album with no bars. Come again? No bars, you say? No bars. So I've been, reading a bunch of information on this, trying to find out, what it is. And the best thing I can gather from all the information that's out there is that Andre 3000 is going to put out an album of him playing flute instrumentals. He said, something to the effect of, basically, this is what's on my heart right now. This is what's in my spirit. This is the best thing I could put out, to the world. And you know what? I say, why not, damn it? Why not? You know why I say why not? Because when y'all's favorite rapper, Lil Wayne, did a horrible rock album, y'all ain't say not a peep about that, okay? I like Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne is very, very good. One of the best rappers ever, undoubtedly. But that rock album was terrible, and y'all ain't say nothing about it. Y'all ain't say nothing about that terrible Lil Wayne rock album. And the current favorite rapper of everybody, Drake's been a rapper. He's been a singer. He's been a dance hall artist. He made a whole ass EDM album like a year ago, and nobody flinched. Nobody said nothing. Okay? So listen, if the man who gave us Miss Jackson and that fire verse on International Players Anthem and just all the classics that Andre 3000 has given us for years and years and years and years, if the man who has given us all of that wants to put out an album playing the damn flute, I say, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. I applaud you. Play your flute, do your album. I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna crap on it without giving it a listen. Okay. I don't know if I can make it through a whole album of somebody just playing the flute, but maybe he'll take some sort of approach to it that I wouldn't expect. Maybe he'll do something that I never could have thought of. I've never listened to a flute instrumental album before, at least not on purpose. Like maybe, in an elevator, or maybe like in the mall. Like, I probably heard a flute instrumental album before, but I don't think I've ever listened to a flute instrumental album on purpose. But for you, Andre 3000, for you, sir, I will listen to my first ever flute instrumental album on purpose. Okay? So shout out to you, 3000. Shout out to creativity. Shout out to being different, going out on a limb and doing your thing and doing you. All right? Josh Allen is in the news this week, and not for good reasons, okay? Who the hell is Josh Allen anymore, okay? Who is Josh Allen? I mean Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, okay? I know Josh Allen is a very common name. Everybody out here there listening to this probably knows somebody named Josh Allen because that is one of probably the most common names in the world. That's a common-ass name. There's even 2 or 3 NFL players named Josh Allen. I think there might have been another player drafted in the same draft with this Josh Allen who was named Josh Allen. All right, it's a common name. But I am talking about the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, okay? I'm talking about the guy who in, his first couple years in the league, turnover machine. And not just the turnover machine, but like bad turnover machine. Like Josh Allen did not look promising his first couple years in the league, but you know what he could do? He could run. He could run fast, and he could run strong. He could run over people. And while he was doing that, somewhere along the line, he got good at throwing. He got good at throwing and at sitting in the pocket. And I guess you can't be scared to sit in the pocket when the people coming at you can't tackle you because you're so big and so strong and so fast. So he got comfortable in the pocket and he started throwing the ball. And then his team went out and traded for Stephon Diggs. And all of a sudden, Josh Allen was an MVP candidate. Oh, everybody loved Josh Allen. We loved us some Josh Allen, right? Everybody loved. All the Josh Allen naysayers was coming to the front of the church and repenting for their sins. How dare we doubt Josh Allen? And y'all wanted him to be the MVP so bad. Y'all kept comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. Remember that? It was Mahomes and Allen, and I'm not sure if it's Allen and Mahomes, if it's 1 and 1A or 1 and 1B. Yeah, okay. How about now? Yeah. So, yes, y'all tried so hard to make him something that he's not. But now, he's not terrible like he was before, right? But he's certainly not as good as he was a year or two ago. He's somewhere in the middle. He's kind of leveled off to being somewhere in the middle. Like, he's still good enough to win you some games. And he's still bad enough to lose to the Jets who can't score touchdowns. This happened. I saw it. I watched it. I was happy about it. But the latest development in this Josh Allen roller coaster is that he's being bad again. And Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, seen smashing things in the booth above the field. He's been fired because of how bad Josh Allen has been. And listen, it's not, you can say it's the offensive coordinator's fault when the quarterback doesn't play well, but really what that is, that means the clock is ticking on the head coach. Yes. The head coach, you only get to fire so many offensive coordinators. This is going on with the Jets right now. The Jets coach, I think he's a really good coach, but he can't seem to get offense right. The offensive coordinator he brought with him when he first took the job with the Jets was a friend of his, but he was learning. It was his first time being an offensive coordinator. So it didn't look very good. But then the rookie quarterback got hurt. They put other quarterbacks in, and one of them had a Hall of Fame game, and some of the other veteran quarterbacks looked much better running the offense than the rookie quarterback that they were just so committed to. And so they ended up firing the offensive coordinator. They've brought another offensive coordinator. The offense still doesn't look good. And the question now around the Jets and Robert Saleh is, are you going to get a chance to cycle through another offensive coordinator and another quarterback? Probably not, right? Probably not. And so bringing this back to the Bills, Josh Allen, you're starting to get your coaches fired because you're bad again. So congratulations, you have come full circle, sir. We'll see where this goes. But as a Jets fan, I got to tell you, I'm rooting for the Bills to lose every game for the rest of the season. Why? Just because I'm a hater. All right now. Listen, sticking with the world of sports and sticking with players who, are good sometimes and bad some other times and could be getting people up out the paint. There's a player in the NBA whose team is actually looking to get him up out the paint, and that player is Zach LaVine. Okay, now Shams Charania of The Athletic reported that NBA teams have been probing the availability of two-time All-Star guard Zach LaVine, and there's been increased openness from the organization and the player about exploring a trade. Many of the league's 30 general managers are in Chicago on Tuesday for the annual Champions Classic, a major opening night of college basketball season, and that's where the conversations are being held. LaVine, who's 28, is in his 7th season in Chicago. He's averaging 21.9 points, 3 assists, 4.8 rebounds, while starting all 11 games this season. The 6'5" guard is in the second season of a 5-year, $215 million contract. Chicago fell to 4-7 after a 118-109 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks on Monday, and will host the Orlando Magic on Wednesday. Okay, so here's what I say. I know basketball has maybe not the highest standards for what they consider a superstar. If you can score a bunch of points, they call you a superstar and they pay you a lot of money. But my thing is like this. If you were paying somebody $215 million on a contract, you shouldn't have no problem winning games. Call me crazy. But if you're paying somebody that kind of money, the winning should be taken care of, okay? The winning should be all locked up, signed, sealed, and delivered because you have a $215 million player. That's just me, right? Call me crazy. But I know one team that could always use a little more scoring. I know one team that has a great player, a really good player who's good sometimes and hurt a lot of other times, and they could certainly use somebody to take the scoring load off of that great player they have. And that team, ladies and gentlemen, is the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's go. Los Angeles Lakers. Genie Bus, get on the phone. Okay? Get your dollars up. Get your trade packages up. Call people. Call Tyrone and tell him to come on. Zach LaVine, if Zach LaVine is available, listen, Zach LaVine is from L.A. Didn't Zach LaVine go to UCLA? Zach LaVine, come on home, baby. Come on home. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Zach LaVine, come on home, brother. Come on home. Come put on this purple and gold and fulfill your dreams. Fulfill your destiny. Maybe you grew up a Clipper fan. I don't know. That's weird. Who grows up a Clipper fan? But if you're from L.A., you got to want to play for the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Unless you Paul George. Paul George is so weird. But so anyway, the point is Zach LaVine. Listen, talk to your agent. Have your people. As a matter of fact, did I see Zach LaVine sitting next to Rich Paul on the sideline? I think my man Big Dave, shout out to @BallSports on X, Twitter, whatever the kids are calling it now. I'm pretty sure he tweeted a picture of Zach LaVine sitting next to Rich Paul. And if that's the case, listen, let's get this money, okay? Rich Paul, figure it out. Get in Jeannie's ear. Tell her, do what you got to do. I've seen the Lakers developing some young players lately. They drafted a nice guard. They had a nice forward who's been developing. I've been watching a little bit over Summer League, okay? Lakers, look, you know the Lakers ain't a developmental team. You know the Lakers ain't the type of team that's trying to develop young stars and let us watch them grow over 5 to 10 to 15 years. That ain't what the Lakers do. The Lakers trying to get these championships right now. Right now. That's what the Lakers trying to do. So the Lakers, listen, get on the phone. F them picks. As the homie Shay Shay would say, F them picks. Give up whatever you got to do. Get like Zach LaVine over to L.A. and let's get on track for championship number 17. Hey now. Let's get these chips. All right. So I got one more thing I want to get to before we get up out of here. Roman Reigns, all right? An account called WrestleLamia posted an interesting graphic on Twitter the other day about the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Shout out to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And it's causing a lot of conversation. Now, the graphic showed the amount of matches Roman Reigns has had over the past 7 years, dating back to 2017. And it's a pretty cool well done graphic. There's a picture of Roman Reigns in each of those years, and it has, the year listed at the bottom, and below the year has the number of matches he wrestled in that year. If you haven't seen the graphic, in 2017, Roman Reigns wrestled 145 matches. In 2018, Roman Reigns wrestled 129 matches. In 2019, Roman Reigns wrestled 99 matches. In 2020, Roman Reigns wrestled 33 matches. In 2021, Roman Reigns wrestled 61 matches. In 2022, Roman Reigns wrestled 52 matches. And in 2023, which we are almost out of, Roman Reigns has wrestled just 11 matches. Now, I know that the initial takeaway from this might be Roman's not carrying the workload. He gets all the attention. He's supposed to be the flagship of the company, and he's only wrestled 11 matches this year. What is that? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Boo. You know what I say? I don't think this graphic actually has the effect that it was intended to have. And I'm going to tell you why. If you pay attention to what this graphic really says, it should actually make you appreciate Roman Reigns even more. So he was on this ridiculous pace from a workload standpoint from 2017 through 2019. And yes, I said through 2019, even though those numbers dwindled by the time we got to 2019. Again, 2017, 145 matches. 2018, 129 matches. 2019, 99 matches. And 2020, 33 matches. Now, obviously the crazy pace, again, from 2017 to 2019. And you got to remember, it was at the end of October 22nd, 2018, when Roman Reigns came on TV and relinquished the Universal Championship due to the return of his diagnosis of leukemia. So he was off TV, fighting for his life, battling cancer, and returned 4 months later. It was the end of February 25th, 2019, when he came back and announced that he was back. 4 months to return from leukemia is phenomenal. Like, just as a human, you got to appreciate that. You got to admire that. Then, of course, we got into 2020, and, the world went on quarantine because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and, because Roman, like we just mentioned, had just, returned from battling leukemia. He was obviously immune compromised. And so he couldn't wrestle, right? But when he did feel comfortable coming back, when he did decide to come back, he was an absolute game changer. Now, I've said it myself so many times, right? That, like, the fact that Roman got the undying support of Vince McMahon, the ability to fail, and by fail, I mean get rejected by the fans over and over and over again, and it was just come back and we'll reset you and we'll do this and and they're gonna like you. And yes, so the audience was conditioned to see Roman as the top guy, and then when he was off TV and everything was so bland, and then he came back, and he was better than ever. Not only was he better than ever, he was finally giving people what they wanted. People always wanted to boo Roman Reigns. And when he came back in 2020, he was not only letting them boo him, he was begging for it. He was being the worst heel. He was being so insulting, right? Like, he was beating down the Fiend, called him a freak in a mask, and just all of this stuff. He was just terrible. So 33 matches in 2020. This is the Thunderdome era, right? And then 61 matches in 2021. Now, you got to remember what was going on at the time. Roman returned in August of 2020, and there was no live events at this time. These match counts are for TV and live events. And when Roman came back in August of 2020, he became the catalyst for the most important storyline of our generation, the Bloodline. You got to give credit. Listen, you got to give credit where it's due. Like, there's no point in denying facts. The Bloodline storyline breathed new life into WWE's live event business. Again, the pandemic, people were excited to come back out once they got back out on the road. WWE got back out on the road, I think it was in July of 2021. And Roman Reigns, spearheaded the Bloodline story, all the gaslighting of his cousins, the stacking and pinning and, all of this stuff. And whether you loved Roman or hated Roman, the fact is he was the main attraction at a time when the company was getting back on its feet. And part of the strategy, this was part of like the Brock Lesnar strategy that they developed. Part of the strategy was having a part-time champion. That's part of the strategy. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, part of the strategy for having a heel champion is having him be a part-timer. Because they know that people hate that. They know that the hardcore wrestling fans are going to look at stuff like this and they're going to say, oh, you're not even here every week. That makes us hate you even more, right? It adds to the heel effect. So that's all been, part of the plan. And then, Roman announced he got a new deal where he gets to work less dates, which again, it's all part of the plan. Now, another part of this thing that you got to take in when you look at a graphic like this is, man, Roman has been up for a long time. I think the show came up in 2012 or 2013. So Roman's been up for 10 or 11 years on the main roster. And that should tell you Roman's not going to be around for too much longer. You better appreciate Roman Reigns while you have him. I was saying this a few months ago when I was talking about Seth Rollins. If you're a fan of Seth Rollins who is sitting here thinking Seth Rollins should be in Roman Reigns' spot, and if he just, works a little harder or gets a little more over or comes up with a new catchphrase or something or this or that, he'll show Vince that he should be the guy who's in Roman's spot. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. And I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, but I'm not saying it's never going to happen because I'm saying that Seth Rollins is not as good as Roman Reigns. I'm saying that the reality is they've gone through the part of their careers in which WWE is trying to figure out where they belong. As a matter of fact, all the while Roman was being consistently rejected by the audience, they gave Seth Rollins chances to be on the top of the card. Okay? They gave Seth Rollins chances to be on top of the card. And when you get those opportunities, you got to do what you got to do to make the crowd say, I want you no matter what. Seth Rollins is one of, if not the best in-ring performer in the world. He's phenomenal. He can play a good guy. He can play a bad guy. Like, he's absolutely great at every aspect of this job. Like, he's one of the best in the world, no matter how you think of wrestling. Seth Rollins is great. But the fact is, Roman has been positioned as the guy of this era, and this era is almost over. I can't tell you how many years Seth and Roman are going to still be in wrestling, but they've already been in a bunch of years, more years than we probably realize. So we don't know how much longer we're going to have Roman Reigns. We don't know how much longer we're going to have Seth Rollins. Again, I think part of the dialing back on Roman's schedule is to extend his career as long as possible, because we're at a part now where John Cena is not only a part-timer, but he's like even winding down on the part-time. Like every time he comes back, all he does is put somebody over because he's trying to put the business in the best position to continue to succeed when he can but when he can't come back and wrestle anymore at all. So think about that. These guys that you grew up on are phasing out, like phasing out, like off into the sunset. Call me for the Hall of Fame. So the guys right now who are in their prime, that would be your Roman Reigns. That would be your Seth Rollins. That would be all the guys who came in around that time. Those guys, enjoy them while they're here. Enjoy them while they're here, because you don't know how much longer you're going to have your tribal chief. All right? Enjoy him while he's here any day now. Maybe not any day now, but I think we are. I do think we're in the last few years of Roman Reigns I can't even say as a full-time performer, because he's not a full-time performer. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Roman's in his prime, and we don't know how much longer we're going to have this version of Roman Reigns. So enjoy it while it's here, man. Enjoy it while it's here, okay? I love y'all. That's it, man. That's it. That's all we got for this show. That's all we got for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like this video. Drop a comment down below. Say what's up. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop some brand new content on this page. Again, if you like this t-shirt, I put the link in the description of the video where you can get one of your own. Support the wrestling club. It's a really cool thing. Like I said, always support the kids, love the kids, show the kids some love. If you really want to support the show, the best thing you can always do, tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and chilling with your boy. Until next time, I'm TW. Peace.
Take like once or twice, I need to analyze. How can I focus on life when you got me mesmerized? But you need a Nobel Prize. When you look this fine, you have to advertise. DM's got a lot of guys.